Thank you for subscribing to the channel. It's much appreciated. And for those who haven't subscribed yet, it would be much appreciated. Only take you a second. Just subscribe and share the channel. Now, what I want to talk to you about today is a question I was asked, which was when this particular person, or any people really, put their children's book, let's say it's an 8 by 5 by 8 by 5, and maybe a double page spread. So you're looking at sort of 17 by 8 by 5, into an ebook format. There's bars top and bottom, left and right. There's black spots where the image doesn't cover the whole of the screen. And can anything be done about that? Now what I've got here is I've just set these out. We've got an iPad. Now iPads change their sizes. They're not all the same size. And you've got your phones, all different shapes and sizes. So how do you get your image to fit all these platforms perfectly? Well, you can't, not in a fixed layout format. With Reflowable, which is the other format, that's really for text heavy files. And I mean, if you still want to go ahead with doing this with a children's book or a cookery book or something with columns or instructions and everything that has to stay the same without it moving anywhere in the page, then fixed layout is really your only option, unless you can find an ebook publisher or creator dedicated to getting your fixed layout book into a reflowable style of ebook. But it's not an easy job. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be so time consuming for the designer. But it's worth asking all the same if that's what you want. But like I say, cookbooks need to have, if they've got all the recipes set out and they've got an image and they've got something else down here, they have to stay there. Now, when in Reflowable, they could move about. Trying to keep them in their places would be quite tricky because the text can expand, you can change your fonts, but with fixed layout, it is what it is. Your font stays the same, your images stay in place. The only way you can get bigger text or a bigger view is if you zoom in. And by doing that, your image goes outside of the screen. Right, this is one of my images, and it's from one of my books. It's the left-hand side of a double-page spread. This is an Apple iPad, and again, Apple iPad, they're not all the same size. It's changing all the time. If I try to get this to look any bigger, I would have to zoom in to read that text. The only other way when I zoom in is if it zooms in like that, I get to read the text, but I'm losing some of my image. It fills it up a little bit more, but there might be something here, or there might be more text closer to the edge here that I want to keep in. Here we have an iPhone. Now, it could be any phone, really. I mean, they all have different sizes. Even Apple have different sizes in their phone, wider, fatter, shorter, all kinds of things. And again, I'm stuck in here. Again, if I want to read the text, I'm going to have to zoom in. I lose part of the image. And if I have to zoom in even more, I'm going to lose everything outside of that. Here we have a Kindle. Now again, I've got top and bottom. That's not showing. And if I want to zoom in, could lose part of the image. It's the same story every time. So I just remove that. That's just a single page of a double page spread. It will work like, you take the next page and you get that, but you don't get the double page spread effect like that. There's the double page spread underneath here. If I just do that to each of them, and you can see how they look. Now, they don't look so great like that, do they? That's about all you're going to get. You would have to zoom right in when you're back to your single page again. If we change the pages so that they're horizontal, but as you can see here, the 8.5 by 8.5 sits, again, with borders either side. This one doesn't look really good in there either. And last, we have the Kindle. In this demonstration, no, it's not so great there either. Let's just remove them and have a look properly at the double page spreads in here. The phone looks the best. Now, if you were determined to make your book go to ebook, still in a fixed layout, because you don't want anything to move in your pictures or your illustrations go all over the place, you would be better off going for 8.5 by 11. That way you'll get your pages narrower. So if I look here, your pages will be narrower because the height is taller. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how an 8.5 by 11 inch image would look in a tablet, an iPad, or a Kindle. These are 8.5 by 11 inch. So you can see how it fits the Kindle really well. It's still not a double page spread there. This is just like, for instance, an example of a cookbook page. And here is the tablet. It's just an Android tablet, and it's a pretty standard size. But again, they're all different sizes. But you've still got the band at the top and the bottom. But it's not a bad size image in the middle. If I just copy that a second and move it over here to the Kindle, take the corner, and it still remains the same aspect ratio. So we've got a good size image in the Kindle. Again, we can't really be using the double page spreads without tops and bottoms, but that's okay. You still get a decent image. The only trouble is it's just not what you want, not what everybody wants. But if you do, like I say, there was a link at the beginning, I'll put it again at the back, and you can create your children's book from there. It does work, and a lot of people are happy with it, with fixed layout children's books, and it's a simple process. And you'll also get information on there about keeping the ebook and the paperback separate until you've built up enough reviews to rebuff any bad reviews where someone might not have been happy. They may have a really skinny phone or something, I don't know what, but they might not be able to view your double page spread or your children's book very well, and they may decide to give you a bad review from that. I'm not saying that's what happens, but you know, it can happen. And keep them separate. And then when one of them's doing well, like the paperback, it's got say 20 reviews, bring in the ebook. Also, what I'll do is I'll put in the description below page sizes in centimeters and inches, pixels at 300 dpi, and pixels with bleed. And you have all your dimensions there. You can find out which particular device it is that you want, and look for the resolution closest to it on here, and look for the page sizes to the left. And it could be helpful for you. But remember that there's no one size fits all. It's quite a tricky one. It's really what suits you. So play about with that. So I hope that helps. And that's it.